Are there any other committee members who want to make any comments? Senator Conley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to begin by saying that Senator Fogarty's advocacy on behalf of the people of Burrillville on this issue was extraordinary. I'm just about at the close of my 4th year in the General Assembly, and I can say without reservation that I've never seen one of my colleagues advocate in such a meaningful and I don't want to say aggressive, but certainly in a strong way on behalf of legislation. His heart and soul is behind this bill. And whether you agree with one of your colleagues or not, it's always that kind of advocacy in this building is often goes unsung. So I think it's important to note that. This bill has 2 components to it. It involves a restructuring of the Energy Facility Siting Board, and it involves a special process for Burrillville in regard to tax stabilization agreements. As to the first issue, there really is no evidence before the committee during the hearing that warrants a restructuring of the Energy Facility Siting Board. The board, as it is processing this particular issue before it, along with the Public Utilities Commission, as the process requires, it seems to be addressing the issues that need to be addressed. We heard, as a legislative body, a lot of opinion about why there's not a need for this plant and why there may be adverse environmental impacts. And frankly, whether or not we as legislators acting on this bill support or don't support the siting of a power plant anywhere in the state, Burrillville or anywhere else, that's really beyond what we do. That belongs before the Energy Facility Siting Board, and frankly, it's not the topic of this piece of legislation. As to the tax treaty component, I agree with Senator Lombardi that what the legislation does is establish a special process for tax stabilization agreements, particular to the town of Burrillville, that would set a precedent throughout the state of Rhode Island where the legislature would be essentially jumping into the establishment of tax stabilization agreements in local communities on a case-by-case basis, which I do think is probably does violate the holding in the Walk-Mo Trust case cited by Senator Lombardi, but more importantly is just horrible tax policy and horrible public policy. So for those reasons, I also am unable to support this legislation, Mr. Chairman.